Hey, party people, it's your boys, Gun Nation United, back again with another video that I am excited about because, one of my legendary childhood games I get to talk about. I'm alongside with my co-host Guns here. My name is Creator, in case you don't know who I am. If you don't know how this works, basically we're two guys who love drinking, love weapons, so we sit back, crack open a beer, have a glorious sip of it, and talk to you about weapons from different medias, video games, anime, movies, stuff like that. Today, we're going to be talking about Ezio Auditore Da Firenze's hidden gun, aka his pistol. So, in case you guys don't know how this works, one of us goes over the qualities in game. One of us goes over quality outside game, examples of real life things that are similar to it, and kind of give our thoughts if this is real or if it could be possibly real at the end. So if you like this sort of thing, please rate, comment, subscribe, and hopefully enjoy. So Guns, if you want to kick it off with the stats from the game, how it works in game.
Well, simply put, how it works in game is it's like a flintlock mechanism. So, you ever seen a flintlock? You got the flint, the powder, projectile.
Mm-hmm. Could you go into a little bit more depth just in case people don't know what that is?
As the hammer.
Mm-hmm.
And there would be powder. And when pull the trigger, the flint would hit metal, it'd ignite the powder, and shoot out the projectile.
Pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Yep. And if I'm not mistaken, Ezio ends up getting this from Da Vinci. Yeah.
Well, he got it from the Codex.
Mm-hmm.
But the Codex was written by Altair. And he was the original who had the first hidden gun.
Right.
Because he wrote all the Codex.
Right. Cool. So could you so you talked about a little bit how it works. Could you kind of tell us how it's set up? Like, I know it's on his wrist, could just a little bit more in depth on that, like the actual setup and concealment process.
Well, it's in front of the hidden blade on his wrist.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever he wants to shoot someone or something, he would point his arm out and pull the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the game, even though it's a flintlock, he loads it in like 5 seconds. But if it was really a flintlock, then it would take longer than 5 seconds.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So is that all you got?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And as you can see, you can kind of... I'm going to put gameplay over this so you can kind of see what we're talking about like in-game. But basically, of course, people have seen this before. Just basic general rundown. And I've stated this many times. We're not scientists. We're just guys who like guns and like to drink beer. And this is just our opinion. So if you have anything else to add below, let us know. But as far as the big question here, is it possible? Yes, and I'm going to get into that a little bit. So as you know, there are many types of concealed weapons, guns, right? Non-traditional weapons, I guess. You have stuff like the butt pistols, the 9mm single shot devices. That at first, they look like the pens at first glance. and so on and so on. So there's a lot of interesting stuff like that. I'm sure most people, kind of know what we're talking about. What do you think the problem is with something having that small though, bro?
You would have to think of what the projectile is. If it's a ball, it's not going to do too much.
Well, absolutely. And the other thing is the accuracy.
Yeah.
Well,
think of 4 or 5 inch barrels, so.
Well, yeah, it's a small barrel. Like, I think, and I could be wrong on this, but I think I was reading on the actual wiki page, and I think it said it was 3 for the hidden gun, the pistol, like for Assassin's Creed. Like, it's a small barrel. It's a really small barrel. Yeah. So,
because you got to think of all the mechanisms and everything like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I mean, to have something like that, yes, in theory it would work, especially like what you said with the powder and the ball and the impact and stuff like that. Absolutely, that could work. However, there are some design flaws, like I said, like accuracy being the first one.
Well, it's not made for long range, so.
Oh no! I think if you were to use something like that, and if you disagree with me, Guns, you're more than welcome to let me know. But I don't think you would be able to hit a man-sized target. I would say no more than 3 meters with that type of, like what Ezio's doing. Like how you play the game and you can shoot somebody, on the other side on another building, across the road. I don't think that'd be happening. I would say only about 3 meters if I had to guess.
Again, you'd have to think if what type of bullets he's using and if the barrel is rifled.
Yeah.
Because if he's not using a ball projectile and the barrel is a rifle, then it will go further.
Well, yes, that's true. But if we're sticking true to the source material, which it is a ball with gunpowder, then I would say nowhere. I would say it wouldn't be past 3 meters, and even at that range, it could still be inaccurate if we're going with the source material. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, if we're going with a pistol, that's a little bit different, and I'll get into that in a second. But as far as could it be made, absolutely. There's stuff like that that's made. I mean, they've turned a pen into a gun. So if you taped a pen under your wrist, you could shoot it, and it would be similar to like what Ezio did. But again, it just comes down to because the barrel is smaller, it's gonna be inaccurate, and it won't be able to hit something long range. Again, I would say no more than 3 meters. But even pushing 4 to 5, like that's still pushing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And of course, reloading too. Like if you're in a battle and think about like back in the old days when people had the must, right? You'd pull the trigger and then you'd have to bring down the gunpowder and stick your ball in and then ignite it and then it would fire, right? I mean, you have to think like reloading in a combat situation, which I know Assassin's Creed is all about being stealthy and stuff like that, so that made sense maybe in that type of environment. But then again, if you fire something like that, it's going to be loud. The shot's going to be loud. So, reloading and also maintaining the barrel and the chamber. As far as the maintenance goes, like cleaning it and maintaining it and stuff like that. And also, it's kind of like what we talked about, and it's kind of like what me and Leon talked about in our Yang video. You have to be careful when it comes to stuff like that because you could blow yourself up if you're not careful, if you put too much force and pressure into it as well. So
yeah, I'm expecting to train with it. So
well, yeah. I expect he would.
It goes in training. when you're loading the flintlock.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think he would be able to. I think he would absolutely be able to make it. I just think it'd be accurate. I think that the reloading would suck. I think that you wouldn't be able to go past a couple meters. I think it'd be loud. I think the maintenance on it would be, but at the end of the day, I think you would be able to make it. Absolutely. I just think that something like that, there's better weapons that have more advantages than these disadvantages that this one has, And as me and you were talking about, a good real life example that I can think of, and there's plenty other examples to this, but just an overall concealed weapon that's a better weapon, in my personal opinion, is something that they used to do, and I mean, you talked about this before recording. They used to do called the sleeve gun, and it was designed during World War II by Station 1X for the Special Operations Execution. And basically, their version of it was the noise suppressed well-rod pistol minus the pistol grip. And they also produced it in .32 ACP and 9x19 millimeter. And of course, it's a pistol. It's a sleeve pistol. It's one of those, if anybody has ever seen Taxi Driver, right, where he has it in the sleeve and then he's got it built in under his jacket, and he slides it forward and he does the famous, "Are you talking to me?" That line. That I don't think he had the well rod, but it was something. The well rod is something similar to that, right? It's bolt action, magazine fed, suppressed pistol. It's called a sleeve pistol. I think you get the point. You put it on your sleeve, you slide it forward, you do some damage, and .3 ACP or 9 mil, and you slide it back.
Yeah.
And also, it also has a short barrel length about 3.25 inches or 83 millimeters. So, and unlike something like Ezio had, where I would say the effective range would only be 3 meters, this one in particular has an efficiency range of 23 meters. And the 9 mil version is 6 rounds, and the 132 ACP is 8 rounds. So yeah, in my opinion, yes, I think Ezio's hit and gun could absolutely be possible. I mean, they have pens that are in the guns, and they have guns that you can put it in your mouth, literally hide under your tongue. So I think it could absolutely be made in the manner that it was in the game, like you described earlier. I just think that there are better. What about you, sir? What say you?
I agree with you.
Sorry. Oh, got a little bit thirsty. I had to take a sip of that beer, you know what I'm saying? Though it was kind of getting thirsty. So. And plus, with the modern weapons, it's magazine fed, so you don't have to worry about the reloading and all the problems like that. So
yeah,
which again you could do in theory, absolutely. I mean, there's collectors out there that still collect stuff like that, with the gunpowder and all, and you pat the gunpowder in and blah 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 blah. But with nowadays weapons, there's just better options. But yes, long story short, in theory, I think you could do it. So, what about you, Guns?
I feel the same way.
Yeah, I mean that.
One major problem with having a gun to your wrist is when it shoots, it makes a fireball.
Oh yeah,
So you have to make sure that the explosion isn't, hurting you in any way.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's almost like, again, it's what I was saying with the whole Yang's weapon. You just have to be careful because, I mean, it could, in theory, blow up your wrist.
Yeah.
So you just have to be careful. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, it's pretty short, sweet, and to the point. I mean, at the end of the day, if people want to go out and make it, be my guest. Like you're more than welcome to. There's absolutely ways to make it, and yeah, you could do it. But I just think there's better alternatives.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty much going to do it for me, Guns.
Yep. Same.
Do you have anything? You have anything else to add?
No, not really.
Cool. All right. Well, on that note, why don't you send the lovely people home?
Well, this has been Gun Nation United. I'm Guns. This is Creator. And remember, keep your beer cold and your ammo hot. And we'll see you later.
All right. Later.